Hey guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimp with the Limp, and I'm here with just a quick video for you, one showing you a Kickstarter worth checking out. Now, this is for my painting wargamers, all right? So people who are into your miniatures, this is a video worth checking. If you don't do any painting, bounce, this ain't for you guys. Now, I have actually gotten stuff from this company before. Cobalt Keep is the name of them, and they're doing another Kickstarter. And the first one they did, I really liked. All right, so the first one they did, just real quick, it was a handle, right, for holding your miniatures. You can put it right there on the top, holds it, has a little magnifying glass you can attach to it. My favorite is the light here that makes it so much easier to see when you're running or doing your painting, doing all that cool stuff. So I've been using this thing a lot. I have loved it, like I said, by the same company. So now they're coming out with a dry palette. Actually, it's the first time I've seen it. And the thing of it is it's got a wet side like usual, you know, your little sponge, your little paper, you paint on it, you know, blah, 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 keeps your paints wet. But there's some paints, especially stuff like contrast, that you can't put on a wet palette because it'll ruin the consistency of the contrast paints, right? It has to be used as is. So you have to use dry stuff with that. Now, I'm not going to play through the whole video because it's a few minutes long and he's showing some of the stuff, but I did want to scroll through and let you guys see a little bit of it because he's showing the wet palette. It's about the usual size that you would see for a wet palette. Now, this white piece, this is the dry palette portion. Gives you a bunch of little hexagon containers that you can put your paints in. Works perfectly fine. I like how this stuff is stackable. So you see how the wet palette actually goes underneath. So you'll have the sponge, the paper, and then the dry palette there on top of that. And then of course a spot to put some paint pots or some brushes on it. Just a real basic set. I like it. I think it's going to work really well. Now I've got the red grass wet palette, and that thing is so outstanding that I really don't think I need another wet palette. But like I said, I like this company. They did such a good job with the paint handle. I want to support them. So I am backing the project. And something I'm going to do is I'll show you guys down in the pledge levels here in a minute. There's different pledge levels you can do, and I'm going to do one so I can actually do a giveaway on the channel. But not only that, they have some brushes as well. So part of this Kickstarter includes these detail brushes that you see here, and also these dry brushes. And for the price that you're paying, really can't be beat. I'm hoping the brushes are at least just decent quality. They don't have to be perfect. And truth be told, I have found that the more expensive brushes that I've tried work like crap compared to the cheap brushes. I don't know, maybe synthetic works better for me. It's just something that I've noticed. But so that's what you're looking at as far as like the Kickstarter is concerned. The wet palette, dry palette parts, and then, you know, paint brushes to go with it. And the prices are really good. Now, let's see. So you can get in basically at $20, and it's just the palette set itself. I would really go with the $35 level. And if you can get in quick enough, you can get into this early bird. You get a bunch of extras on top of that, which really, when it comes into the cost of it, is a huge deal. So that's what I'm going to show you here. This pledge level, 35, the early bird, which still has 9 days as of my filming. It'll probably be 8 days by the time I get this up. Has the dual palette itself, the 3 detail brushes, the 4 dry brushes, the 100 extra palette paper, 100 pieces. And I think that's on top of the 40 pieces that you get. It only comes with 1 sponge, which kind of sucks, but I think that's how they're kind of keeping costs down. But you are getting plenty of paper, and you can get other sponges as well. And it says a free copper disc. I'm not sure what the copper disc is, to be honest with you. I'm like, what the hell is this copper disc? And some flocking samples as well. So hell yeah, I'm all about that. This stuff listed here is part of the early bird, all right? Only other thing that's included in the regular, once you're past the early bird, is just the copper disc itself. So if you're going to get it, jump on it sooner. Now, the level I'm backing at is going to be the $50 level because it comes with two of the wet palette stuff, right? So I'm actually going to keep one for myself to use, and I'm going to give one away on the channel once this delivers. And they're anticipating roughly end of the year, so Christmas time delivery. And last time they delivered very quickly as far as the handles were concerned. So I think these people will actually meet that deadline. They're not like usual Kickstarters that say we'll deliver by December, and it's December 3 years down the line. This, I anticipate them at least being in the ballpark as long as something else doesn't get in the way. So you guys stay tuned for that. If you would like a chance to win one of them, I will be doing one of my usual giveaways once this comes in. And you see here, it's got the wet palette, sponge, the paper, the dry palette itself, and the clear lid. Now, my thing is, I'm curious how well their paper is going to do versus the wet grass, because I am still using the first sheet of that hydration foam, hydration paper, whatever they call it, from the red grass. Still using the first one, and it still works perfectly. I don't think they're going to be anywhere near as good as that. I don't know. I'm hoping that their paper's at least close to that quality, because that's the best sheet for a wet palette I have ever seen, ever, in any of the ones I've used. But for the price that you're paying and for everything that you're getting, you really can't be beat. Many times just for paintbrushes, you're looking at spending that much. So I'm kind of looking at the wet palette as a bonus. And again, you can see how it goes here. You can put your little tools, and I like it. It's just ease of design. And of course, they make it wide enough so you can put Citadel pots, because Citadel has to be a jerk about stuff and make things just a little bit oddly shaped compared to how everyone else has the droppers. Theirs are round, irritating things that you can't get paint out of easily, but it's Citadel, so what else do you expect? A little over 8 inches long, a little over 6 inches wide, and then the stuff that comes with it. And let's see here, showing more of that. The hexagon here, it shows about the moisture in the film. And this is the key thing that I want to try out, because I'm always looking out for good paintbrushes that'll last me at least a decent period of time. And those are about the size paintbrushes I use on most of my models when I'm painting them. And I've been really getting into dry brushing here recently. And honestly, for a set of 7 paintbrushes, you would spend $30 anyway, at least just for barely decent ones. So as long as these paintbrushes are just all right, they don't have to be the best paintbrushes I've ever used. I've at least got my money's worth for what I'm spending on the Kickstarter. So I'm perfectly thrilled with this. These blue ones here, this is the early birds. So this is where you see how you're getting some extra stuff. Like I said, I went at the $50 level to get the extra set. That way I could do the giveaway and send it out to one of the viewers on the channel. Make sure you stay tuned for that. But either one, I'd probably, if you're not looking to give away something, I'd probably go with the $35 one as early as you can, because you just can't beat the amount of stuff that you're getting out of it. Wet palette, 7 brushes, a bunch of sheets of the paper that you're going to need, and I still don't get what the copper discs are for. And flocking, I always like to have extra flocking around for bases, because I'm not very good at doing bases, and I can put glue down and dust some grass on there and call it a day. And like I said, the extra stuff you get versus if you wait, much better to get it now. And there's like some store levels that you can shoot to. They do have a few stretch goals, which I'm hoping they hit, because this will add some extra brushes to it. At least these first 2, layer and shade brush set, and then a basing brush set. Precision knives, if we can get them, cool, but I don't know if they're going to get that high in the Kickstarter. I'm not horribly worried about the calipers. I mean, it'd be great if they did hit it, but I would be thrilled if they at least hit the first 2 levels here, get those brushes on there for the Kickstarter. And the early bird, if you're in the USA, it's free shipping. Good grief, how is he doing free shipping with everything that's costing? The rest of the world, I gotta say, the shipping isn't too bad for how bad shipping has been costing here recently, as high as it's been getting. What he's charging is probably the lowest possible amount he can charge to get it out the door. So definitely props to him as far as all that goes. Here we go, showing his timeline as far as delivering everything. Again, December 22nd, or 2022 rather. And I anticipate him hitting it. He did really good as far as delivery on the first Kickstarter he did with that paintbrush. So, or not paintbrush, the miniature holder did really, really well. And it looks like you can add on extra pieces. So if you want extra brushes, sheets, sponges, whatever you want to add, you can definitely add that onto it. And yeah, here you see that's the handle that I'm using. Some extras they have, different bases. They have just a whole bunch of lines that he started doing a bunch of different products for accessories for miniature painting, and it's been quality stuff. I really enjoyed using, especially this light, since it's rechargeable for my painting. And I'm getting older; my eyesight isn't quite as good as it used to be. So being able to have that light directly and just move it right exactly where I want it, man, that's been great. But they do have some of those left, as the last time I looked on their website. So if you want one of those handles, go check them out, Cobalt Keep, and see if you see anything that you would like. I can't recommend the handle enough, especially with the light with it. The magnifying glass that you can attach, you can have them both attached at the same time, does well, but I don't quite need it that often, so I leave it off unless I want it for a very specific piece. But the light is excellent, does a really good job. So yeah, dual wet palette from Cobalt Keep. I definitely recommend them. They've done a good job. And actually, now that I'm seeing as high as they are hitting, I really do anticipate them hitting the stretch goals for the brushes. So that's a good thing. On top of it, it's not like the most high-end products that you're ever going to see by any means. But what you're getting for the cost that you're paying, especially with costs on everything going up nowadays, it's quality, effective stuff at a affordable price, which can't be beat in today's world with everything just going up. I mean, all in Kickstarters costing like $1,000 now. It's ridiculous. So being able to get some affordable accessories, I'm all for it. These guys are kicking ass. So yeah, definitely check them out. If you're interested in a wet palette, or if you just want the brushes and you can give away the palette, whatever works for you, definitely check them out. Good stuff. All right, you guys take care. I'll see you in the next one.